up and welcome back to the channel, guys. For those of you who don't know already, this is the second car we have. This is a 1999 or 2000 Honda Civic EJ6, or the EK shape, but the EJ6 means it's a D16 single overhead cam VTEC motor. But we're just going to refer to it as the EK since it's the EK shape. So yes, this is the car. It currently has quite a few flaws. This car is mostly stock. When I say mostly, I mean completely stock, other than the fact that we put sound in it and we put in one bucket seat, but that's going to come out and we're putting the stock seat back in. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that when we get to doing that. But right now, the car is in okay shape. It needs paintwork, and on the bonnet it needs clear coat over there. The boot needs clear coat, the back bumper needs work, the front bumper needs work. Over here you can see we did a quick little patch Adams job. That didn't work out so well, so we're going to come and reinforce that with fiberglass. But that's going to be for later stages. Right now, what we do have is a 110mm potato cannon that is sure to let this thing sound like the lawnmower it is at heart, right? So we're going to be throwing on this 110mm outlet, 76mm inlet Megan Racing exhaust that we picked up from Thailand, that came on his SX when he bought the car, before he straight piped the entire thing. So we're going to be throwing this on. We're only doing an axle back today. We're leaving the current resonators in because we don't want drone, and depending on how loud or soft it is, that means we're going to adjust it from there. Now the problem is, stock exhaust 48mm, exhaust 76mm. That's a lot of millimeters difference, right? So we got some 76mm, I don't know, galvanized pipe here, as well as our old SX exhaust. So with a combination of the two, make that 3, we also have some stainless intakes. With a combination of these 3, we are going to create an axle back that is going to fit on this car. So without any further ado, let's pull that old exhaust off. Before we do that, here's a little clip of the car revving to 3000 and then 4000 RPM. We'll do the same thing with no axle back, and then the same thing with the 110mm on there. So here's the clip now. So that sounds pretty lame, and that's why we need potato cannon also to fit in with the typical, stereotypical Honda lawnmower JDM fashion. You know, we have to put an obnoxiously loud exhaust on this car to make it sound just a little bit better. So without further ado, let's get down to doing this. In typical fashion, we have to do the mandatory, this in inverted commas, no exhaust test. Let's hear it. So that doesn't sound terrible, but I think the deepness of the actual resonator is going to make it sound better. That sounded a little, like I'm lying, that sounded terrible. So let's try and make that better. Okay, so what we need to currently do is we need to get this and this as one piece, right? So my initial thought was to cut the flange off here, then basically fab up some pipe that would be the same curvature as this, and then basically have an expansion joint that goes onto here. But now I'm possibly thinking, if we don't just reduce it to this size, cut this pipe after we've done the reduction, and then use the existing pipe. Reason being is that flange, as you guys can see, is supposed to seat specifically into the existing flange that's on the car. So the reason I'm thinking of doing this is basically just simplicity versus us fabbing up a new pipe, and then essentially my new piece of pipe would be larger than the flange, so it would kind of make that pointless. And also the position of these holes here on the flange. It's going to make it difficult because any pipe larger than this is going to impede our flow of the bolt, right? So, first that's going to sit there. Okay, so let's first focus on the pipe. After that, we'll focus on the mounting points because we have to also transfer these mounts over to this side, or at least get them in the same space. So let's first focus on the pipe. Let me figure out what we're going to do on that one, and then we'll start from there. So for the sake of simplicity for right now, we're going to cut this pipe off here. We're going to take this back to the car and we're going to try and see if it fits. Now, the reason I need to check all of this is because my tailpipe is much higher than this tailpipe was, right? Now, because I've got that height difference, I'm having an issue where I'm worried about this hitting the bumper itself. Because naturally this is much bigger, right? So this used to sit just this much below the bumper. So now that means if that's the case, right, the outlet on this is much higher than, or the inlet on this side is much higher than the outlet on this side. Now I need to go and try and figure out if this is mounted on, what is the height that is going to be on the inlet on this side, right? So if I just narrow this down to the center, I might be way off on this side. So let's cut this side off. We're going to mount that up. We're going to try and figure out what our heights are on the other side, and then we'll figure out where we're going to mount this to on this actual inlet side on the exhaust. So let me go measure those things quickly. I'll cut it off here. It's a little bit dark outside, so I probably won't show you guys me just measuring it up outside, but once I'm done with that, then I'll bring it back inside and we'll figure out how we're going to weld this and cut the rest of the pipes. So our first iteration has been tacked together. As you can see, we just made a little reducer there using that 46mm pipe into the stock actual pipe and then onto here. So now I've just tacked everything in place because we've learned our mistake from the last time. So, or learn from our mistakes. Next, I'm gonna go and quickly test and see off camera if this actually fits in place. If it does, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna weld it together. If not, I'm gonna grind it back down, get it back into the right orientation, and then carry on from there. 5 minutes later. And everything seems to fit pretty well. So let's go through. Let's do the weld up, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get all of the stuff welded together. Then we can get it back on the car. And then we need to fabricate the mounting brackets. So let's try and get this finished first. Then we can carry on from there. So we got it welded up now, and we got a coat of paint on there just to prevent any further corrosion and stuff from happening. Also just to be able to see when the leaks come through, because I'm pretty certain that there are leaks. Having a coat of silver on there means that it should come through as like blackish on here, so then we'll be able to see where any of the leaks are, pull it off and weld it back up. So that's done for now. Next we are going to move on and try and see if we can get the hangers in. So we need to kind of get one this side and this side. Not kind of, that's where we have to get them. So these are the existing hangers that we have, and as you can see, it's not going to line up. But I'm feeling like we could probably just bend this one somehow. Who knows how. But probably just bend this one to the right angle and be able to get that in line with that. Yeah, we'll go this way and then this one will be on that side. Yeah. Depending on the height. We'll figure it out. But let's try that now. So we just finished up mounting the exhaust. We got the little brackets and everything welded in place. Yeah, let's do the first startup. I do expect there to be some exhaust leaks because I'm not a professional welder, but we will get that sorted once we find where they are. So let's listen to it. So it's not ridiculously loud, but that's also nice. This is a daily car, so I didn't want anything too ridiculously loud. We might delete one of the center boxes just to give it a little bit more rumble to it. And we might consider just doing possibly like a 63mm straight through. Obviously, like I said, keeping one of the boxes in. But with that being said, this doesn't sound too bad, and hey, it didn't take us all that long, and it cost us 500 Rand, or roughly $50, $40. So that's pretty dope. And yeah, this was just a quick little project, one of the first to start with this car. I will explain to you guys the plans for each of my cars in one of the upcoming videos. I'll explain exactly what I plan on doing with both of them. So until then, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the content on this car. Fabricating stuff was really fun. I was actually having a lot of fun doing that, learning how to weld a little bit better. It's all stuff that we need to learn and is really actually enjoyable to do. So this is starting to get really fun and interesting. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. And yeah, thank you once again for joining us and, you know, being a part of the whole experience. And yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit a comment below and let me know, do you guys want to see more content on this car? Do you want to see more content on the S13? What type of content would you guys like to see? And yes, until then, love you, miss you, bye!